Vodafone today, not it's up. Put up today, not it's up. Vovadeke, 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 vovadeke. Does a dumpa do tombo bomba? Does a dumpa boo does it? Facing the dark parts of life, the places where you have a desire to do well, and you don't do well at all, repetitively. Herein lies the treat of being immersed into an honesty family. That area where your buttons are pushed. Even though so much of your life has gotten cleaned up and refreshed and you're strong where you used to be stupid. There's a place, there's an area, and I tell you the truth, there's a spirit or two that are still hanging around in your atmosphere. A couple of hitchhikers sitting in the back of your pickup truck. And every once in a while they come and beat on the cab of your pickup truck. And you get all flustered and you make a foolish move. Well, that's why being immersed or baptized into an honesty family is such an amazing, sweet deal. Because in the wisdom writings it says that when we try to perceive ourselves, we can't perceive ourselves clearly and well. I cannot discern and perceive myself really well. So I must have others reflecting back to me. Now, others' opinions and reviews of me are not always going to be sterling and perfect. And sometimes they will have a wrong agenda. And sometimes they will have just foolishness in it. But the more that you learn to be in the spirit of honesty and truth with a totally clean conscience, admitting the things that you intend to do but are not doing. When you're operating together with others, cleaning your consciences, then the downloads to others to assist you in the areas where you're weak can be really clean. Hey, I know you're planning on heading in this direction. Two of us should probably come with you because that's kind of a rough place for you to go. I can't tell you how many times people have gotten into trouble because they've gone back into old friends' environment or family environments where there's a lot of bitterness and a lot of bad bridges that were broken and messed up. You go along with a couple of others, and they get perceptions about you and how you should change your behavior rather than, your stupid friends or your messed up family. And one of the worst things is when people do not realize that their closest posse are actually doing things that seem nice that are detracting from your best business. Nicey nice stuff. Oh, everybody's doing it. Being immersed, and I don't mean even baptized in water. I mean being immersed in an honesty family. The reason why Honesty Guy makes his presentation first to the atheist and the non-religious and the person who's resistant to all that God and religion stuff is that you are called, one, who has a conscience, and if you run your life by conscience in a way that is good and excellent, you may be evaluated as far better than many of the ones who have all the God information, but that don't use it. So, this is an introduction to being immersed as an honesty family, into an honesty family, and staying in it. So you rinse yourselves clean, your conscience gets cleaned a couple times a week. Every evening is the best way to begin. Every evening. As we get used to saying, hey, I was bitter and frustrated towards this person and I said something bad. Hey, I could have done well on this thing, but instead I was careless and sloppy. This is the introduction to being immersed in an honesty family, which is the one thing after my 23-year tour of the church mess in America, the hardest thing to do is to be immersed in honesty in a family way. It's easier to raise the dead, to teach people how to heal, to learn, interesting principles about human nature and, deliverance and the character of spirits and everything else. Being immersed in an honesty family and really facing up with the truth is a tough thing. We see through a glass darkly, I repeat. We try to look at ourselves in a mirror that's extremely distorted. So we think we know about ourselves. We think we know, I know what I need, da-da-da-da-da. And in fact, sometimes it's best that a person designs their own leash for them. Put this leash on me. If I go into that environment by myself, that's a no-no. That's where I need help. But when a person has to have other people that they're describing their downsides in detail to. And that means that we end up having to have intimate discussions, real discussions about the things that catch women and the things that catch men, because the complements of our gender are partly to look out for one another. There are insights that a male human being has that a woman must consider and learn from. There are insights that a female human being has that a man must hear and ponder and consider in order to go forward well. So that means that we need to begin naked, honest discussions on a child-friendly level about what everything feels like inside to us. Remembering that the woman generally is hungry for family commitment. And when she sees family commitment is fading or fading out, she's going to get defensive. She's going to be hunting for a better family commitment. And sometimes the family commitment is best only in the sisterhood. And the man, because of his own peculiar body form and behavior, he feels a constant hopelessness and a feeling of bad performance. And so he is always hungry for someone to speak honorably about him and his purposes and his work. I mean, for a man, it's like if somebody peeks through the fence and says, hey man, even though you do some bad things, I really like the way that you do this and you do that. You do that the best in the tribe. And it's really great to have you in our midst. A man is ultra aware on the inside of his negativity, his downsides, his bad behavior. And that causes him to put up a wall and stuff things. But if somebody overlooks his bad behavior, discounts it, and says, I appreciate you, that's where a man feels better. A woman needs to be heard. All of the details in her. She has an emotional memory that men don't have. She has a physical memory that men don't have because her body operates on a calendar. A man's body does not operate on a similar calendar. And then she has prophetic truth word that comes into her guts from nowhere, from the highest place. So when she is able to share her concerns in the emotional memory, concerns in the physical memory, concerns in the truth, she feels content when she is heard. That way the man can go off in the cave and go, oh my gosh, what decision should I make? Which direction should we go in? And the man makes the decision, and the woman knows that he made a decision based on her concerns as well. And a lot of times one of those concerns ends up being the guiding factor. It's awesome. It's fine. We are equal souls. We are evaluated completely impartially. Be thrilled about the position that you're put in, the gender that you're put in, the age that you're put in. Be thrilled even about the family that you're put in, because that's a training ground. There are downsides to your family. If you're born in a rich family, you're dangerous. If you're born in a comfortable family, you're dangerous. If you're born pushed into an authority position because nobody else is being in authority, you're in a dangerous position. You may override your authority because you think you're good at it. Everywhere you are is a training ground. Be fascinated with what you're stuck in this life, because there is an afterlife, and your invisible soul will not die. And in the wisdom writings, it declares and implies that after the death of the protein casing, after the death of the physical body, you will be 100% alive, and you will remember everything that you ever did. And you will perceive all the things that are going on, but you won't be able to do anything about it. You'll just be in the bleachers, in the audience, watching, with your heart aware of what could have been and what could be as you watch the others that you love going forward. You actually don't die. You live through your flesh and blood lineage and those who you affect, those who you teach and care for. You are going to be affecting them, and if you die, you will be seeing your own life alive in them going forward. This is why we break up the fallow ground. The children are the fallow ground. They're like a field that's full of clover that has not produced any crop for a long time. It's ground that's eager to produce something, to do something. And you break up that fallow ground. It takes effort. You have to turn it. You have to split it. You have to open it up. Break up the fallow ground. Do not sow your seed among thorns. The thorns are the crooked adults, the ones who are set in their ways, who refuse to listen and change. As soon as they hear something that they should change towards, you have to change quickly. If you hear something that is bona fide, true, important, essential, you get your life business on and you change and you jump on that thing and you do it. Be noble, change quickly. That's this morning. This morning is good. This morning is good for me and for you.